A policeman holds a man and his son captive in a car. They stop in front of an abandoned building, and the policeman orders the young boy to enter through the back and retrieve a toy monkey. The boy's father, visibly worried, warns him not to turn the key on the monkey's back under any circumstances. The boy then leaves the car to get the monkey. Meanwhile, the policeman absentmindedly scratches his head with his gun and accidentally fires a shot into a wasp nest. Enraged, a swarm of wasps bursts out of the nest and into the policeman's mouth, tearing apart his face in a gruesome manner. Year earlier, a man with blood on his shirt frantically enters a toy shop, clutching a toy monkey. He places it on the counter and rings the bell to notify the shopkeeper. With a worried expression, he attempts to return the monkey. However, before he can do so, the toy monkey starts playing its drums on its own, triggering an event that causes a harpoon gun to fire, killing the shopkeeper. Determined to get rid of the monkey, the man finds a flamethrower in the shop and burns it. The story fast forwards to 1999, where we are introduced to twin brothers, Hal and Bill Shelburne. Hal is a timid young boy, while Bill is his opposite, bold and mischievous, often teasing Hal. They are being raised by their single mother, Lois, after their father mysteriously disappeared. While snooping through their father's old belongings, they discover the monkey inside a box. Intrigued, they turn the key on its back, only to see a creepy smile on its face and nothing else happen, thinking it's broken. Later, the twins are accompanied by their babysitter, Annie, while Lois goes on a date. In the car, Hal notices that the monkey has mysteriously appeared. They all go to a hibachi restaurant, where a chef serves them. Suddenly, the monkey starts playing its drums, causing the chef's knife to fly and decapitate Annie. After Annie's funeral, the twins are comforted by Lois, and the three of them begin to dance. At school, Hal is bullied by Bill's friends, who demand that he take off his pants. Humiliated and angry, he returns home without them, only to find that the monkey has mysteriously appeared again. Sensing that the monkey is different, and believing it is responsible for the babysitter's death, Hal suspects it has the power to kill. Fueled by resentment toward Bill for always humiliating him, he winds the key on the monkey, hoping to kill his twin brother. The monkey begins to play its drums. However, when Bill arrives home from school, he witnesses his mother's sudden death from a fatal aneurysm. A funeral is held for their mother, after which the twins are adopted by their Aunt Ida and Uncle Bill. Meanwhile, Hal struggles to process the guilt of being responsible for his mother's death, determined to rid himself of the monkey's curse. He chops it into pieces and disposes of it before moving away to live with his aunt and uncle. At their uncle's house, Bill spots the monkey mysteriously placed outside. He accuses Hal of bringing it with him, but Hal insists that he chopped it up and that it shouldn't be there. Realizing that the monkey is evil and likely responsible for Annie's death, Bill decides to wind its key to see if anyone else they know will die. He also wonders if their mother had turned the key, unaware that it was actually Hal who did it. When they wind the key, it leads to their Uncle Chip's death in a horse stampede during a camping trip. Now certain of the monkey's deadly power, the twins decide to seal it in a well to prevent anyone from misusing it. 25 years later, Aunt Ida hears something in the basement and goes to investigate with a gun in her hand. When she moves up the stairs, she falls into a box filled with needles which impale her face. She pulls them out and applies medicine to the wounds to prevent infection. Soon after, she smells gas in the house and rushes to check the stove. As she approaches, the stove suddenly ignites, setting her face on fire. In agony, she runs outside but is impaled on a wooden sign, dying in the process. Meanwhile, Hal, now working as a store clerk, has become a recluse, living alone with no friends. He is estranged from Bill and the rest of the family, including his son Petey, whom he only sees once a year, out of fear that the monkey will return and harm someone close to him. Hal learns from his ex-wife and her new husband Ted that they are planning to fully adopt Petey, effectively cutting Hal out of his son's life. At Ida's estate sale, a local named Ricky spots the monkey and decides to buy it. Hal and Petey are in a motel room when Petey asks about his family. Hal lies, claiming that he has no siblings. That night, Hal has a strange dream about the monkey returning, which wakes him up. He then receives a phone call from Bill, with whom he hasn't spoken in years. Bill informs him that Aunt Ida has died in a freak accident. Suspecting that the monkey has returned, Bill asks Hal to visit Ida's house and secure the monkey if it's there. As soon as the call disconnects, an AC vent falls from the ceiling, sending a current through the pool. A beautiful woman dives in, only to vaporize into pieces, confirming Hal's suspicions. Hal and Petey visit Ida's home, where they are greeted by Barbara, the real estate agent. Petey learns from Barbara about the existence of his Uncle Bill and that his father lied to him, which upsets him. Inside the house, Ida tells Hal that there have been numerous freak accidents over the past week, with people dying under strange circumstances. While trying to open a locked door, a shotgun falls and discharges, firing at Barbara and causing her to explode. The police question Hal, instructing him not to leave town. He receives a phone call from Bill, who tells him to return to the motel and wait for his signal before hanging up. Hal realizes that Bill is still in town. He looks up Bill's name in the phone book but can't find it. Instead, he stumbles upon a strange listing for Mrs. Monkey, a name Bill used to tease Hal with as a child. Hal calls the number and hears a recorded message from Bill saying that he has found the toy monkey he was looking for. Suddenly, Hal realizes that Bill is winding the monkey and is responsible for all the deaths. The scene shifts to Bill as an adult, wearing the same funeral suit he wore as a child. He reflects on how he realized that Hal must have turned the key, which led to their mother's death. Bill returns to the cave to retrieve the monkey, only to find that it has disappeared, leaving behind only a winding key. He interprets the left-behind key as a sign that the monkey will return, so he begins to wait. As an adult, he starts noticing signs around him, signaling that the monkey is about to reappear. He sees an ad for Ida's yard sale in the newspaper and recruits Ricky to obtain the monkey. After acquiring the monkey, Bill starts winding the key on its back repeatedly because it doesn't respond to requests. Hoping that somehow it will lead to Hal's death, the person he still blames for the death of their beloved mother. Ricky returns to Bill and asks if he can keep the monkey, as it reminds him of his father, who was a cop. Bill refuses, angering Ricky. In response, Ricky goes home, puts on his father's police uniform and grabs his gun. Meanwhile, Hal and Petey return to their motel room, where Hal calls Bill using the phone number he found in the book. They argue, and Hal pleads with Bill to spare Petey. Bill offers Hal a choice: bring Petey over so that he can be the one to turn the key, since the person who wins it isn't affected. Or Bill will continue winding it until Petey is dead. Hal decides to confront Bill, but first takes Petey to see his mother. However, before they can leave, Ricky knocks on the door, pretending to be a police officer. He pulls out his gun, forcing them to go with him to Bill's place. Ricky threatens Hal and orders Petey to enter through the back dog door to retrieve the toy monkey. Petey, still unaware of the monkey's true nature, is puzzled by this odd request, but Hal begs him not to turn the key under any circumstances. Petey sneaks inside, navigating the elaborate trap set by Bill until he finds Bill talking to the monkey. Bill convinces Petey to turn the key, claiming it's a family tradition. Curious, Petey winds the key and the monkey starts playing its drums. This triggers a chain of events that causes Ricky to accidentally fire his gun into a wasp nest. A swarm of wasps pours out of the nest and enters Ricky's mouth, killing him in a brutal and horrifying way. After witnessing another horrifying scene, Hal exits the car and searches for Petey, calling his name. Bill hears him and realizes that Hal is still alive. He orders Petey to turn the key again, but Petey refuses. In a fit of rage, Bill hits Petey, takes the monkey, and demands that it kill Hal once more. However, the monkey refuses to play the drums. Bill tries to force the monkey, but it pushes him away. The monkey begins playing the drums uncontrollably, faster and faster. As Bill watches in horror, he sees his town engulfed in flames, and a plane crashes nearby. Then, one by one, several people start falling from the sky in front of Bill. Hal arrives and notices that the monkey's drumstick is still raised, poised to drop at any moment. He confronts Bill, accusing him of trying to kill him. Bill reveals that Hal is the reason their mother died because he turned the key. Hal counters, explaining that he was trying to stop Bill, but the monkey doesn't take requests. Hal then adds that Bill isn't the only one who lost a mother, she was his mother too. The two argue but eventually reconcile, sharing their grief over losing their mother and how it affected both of them. The twins bond, and Hal invites Bill to join him and Petey on a road trip, but just as they reconcile, the drumstick finally falls, triggering one of Bill's traps, which causes a bowling ball to strike him in the head, killing him instantly. Hal and Petey drive through the devastated town, with the monkey in the car. They decide to keep the monkey close, acknowledging their connection to it and vowing to avoid its misuse. At a traffic stop, a mysterious pale horseman walks by, nodding at them before continuing on his way. The pale rider refers to Revelation 6:8, which represents death and disease as the fourth horseman of the apocalypse. As the car drives off, a bus full of cheerleaders, some of them poking out of the windows, is struck and decimated by a passing truck, and the story comes to an end. If you enjoyed this, hit like, share with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe for more. What would you do if you had this monkey? Comment below. See you in the next one.